Okay, so we are recording this tonight, especially for a couple of people who wanted the replay. And so we're going to hold them in our hearts as well as we start the show called Unfolding the Path of Our Grief. So I'm just going to give a small history in that the last several months I've been taking a program called Soul Sound Academy and really developed this program as a way of supporting people through their loss and grief. And I am hoping, my hope would be that you will leave feeling more grounded, that you will feel supported and soothed from what we are sharing together in this space, and that you will know that your journey, whatever journey that you are on, is your journey and that it doesn't need to look a certain way at all. So, I guess I didn't think too much about what I was going to say off the top, but there we go. So, the first song I'm going to play is called Listen Closely, and it really lets us know that we have support and that we need to listen. Receive, perhaps, is the right words to think about. So it's called Listen Closely. I listen closely to the Spirit, oh, she whispers so gently in my ear. I listen closely to the Spirit, for she is here. I walk the hills, a hawk circles, doesn't seem to notice me at all. I hear a message and I take it with my heart. I listen closely to the Spirit, oh, she whispers so gently in my ear. I listen closely to the Spirit, for she is here. A mule deer stares at me directly across mature native grass. She moves in closer, then stares more intently, then bounds away. I listen closely to the Spirit, oh, she whispers so gently in my ear. I listen closely to the lakeside to fierce emotion. My aunties, they greet me on the way. They come in closely, taking care, then bound away. They hover, they don't bound. I listen closely to the spirit, oh, she whispers so gently in my ear. I listen closely to the spirit, for she is here. She is here. Thank you. Aw, thank you, Sonia. So our first story, oops, I'm being very quiet with my papers. I never thought about papers being noisy. I said to Laura at the beginning, I'm like, you can kind of sneak so many things when you're on Zoom, right? Like you're not having to be quite so careful with your space because no one can really see the background. So this first story is really to talk about changes and shifts. I always think about transitions, I think transitions are about loss. I certainly experienced a change, a loss of identity when I left my nursing career in 2019. So I left there and I went to the lake and spent most of the summer there. And I really kind of got to see how the veil was quite thin there. It kind of freaked me out a bit. I phoned a friend who lives in that world a bit more, and I'm like, I don't know what's happening to me. Like I'm a bit shaken. Like what's going on? Most of that would have been after I went to the lake. I was feeling these intense feelings, and I'd had a meditation instructor say that, sometimes either a field or a lake, sometimes you can kind of let go of your feelings. And I walked along the path near the lake, and I turned left, and then there was they were luminous, my three aunties. And I was like, I was grateful, but I certainly was surprised, as that had never really happened to me before. It did help with my transition, both that and when I was walking on native prairie grass up where we hike there near where we have our cabin. And I remember walking and kind of doing the long trail and coming back around, and this hawk was circling above me and just kept circling. And I started crying, and then I really felt that this hawk was telling me to open my wings, let the air take you. And I've tried to, I guess I should really show my hawk, right? So that's why, I've always felt, I don't really understand spirit animals a lot, but I always felt attracted to the hawk or the eagle, and this hawk, certainly I felt connected, and realized that probably 3 summers before I'd been in a different park and a hawk was above me and I was terrified. So it was a whole different relationship with the hawk. And then that same summer, my wife Robin and I were off. We were away from the town, just a little ways up in the Saskatoon bushes. And I just knew the ancestors were there. And I said to her, well, it feels like there's ancestors here. She says, yeah, of course, kind of. And then as soon as we went back into town, I could just tell the difference. It was such an interesting thing. So really grateful to know that there are more supports around me. I think that it is so easy to forget that. Yeah. So I think it's the transitions, that I was thinking about. I've been thinking about more things around loss and grief, probably because I've been sharing what I'm doing with people and wanting to say to people both that it's I said to Laura, we're going to have fun tonight, and it's maybe going to be sad, but it's going to be both, and that there's so many different kinds of loss. So my first question that I was going to ask was, where do you find support for your loss and grief? And when I think of it, I know that for me, as this story says, and as the last song talked about, you know, really getting support in nature and from my spiritual practices, no matter what transitions I'm in or what kinds of, loss that there might be. Community for sure also. So yeah, please feel free to share in the chat if there's something you want to share about how it is for you. But as always, I shouldn't say as always, you'd think we'd had this conversation 100 times. Well, I might have with Laura and Sonia, but maybe not to the people that might be listening later. So yeah, please feel free to chat, to ask.